Hey guys, welcome back to Engineer Tech Hub channel. So in this video we will continue interview question for API testing part 2. So if you will miss the previous video, please watch. Okay. So next question we have how to API testing different from the UI testing. So simple guys, UI testing is bit slower than the API testing. So in the UI we have a user interface, but in the API we have a backend. So in UI you can see the front end part. This is visible for the users, but API we are doing the backend testing. Understood, right? So in the early phase we can find the defect in the API testing, but UI, once the things will develop, we are going to do validation, right? So these are the things, and it is more faster than as compared to the UI. You have to create one users, right? With one hit we can create a users, but if you will go for the API, then you can go for the you are going to enter all the user information, right? So it is bit slower. Okay, this is just high level, but again we have a explore this. So API focus the core functionality of application by directly interacting with API, right? The part that allow the different system communication. Okay, layer wise, here, we are involved in the backend, business logic, data handling, and server response are working correctly or not. Okay, a speed is very important. Okay, so typically fastest it bypass the UI. So this is bypassing the UI and focus on directly on the data and function. Okay, next example, sending a request to an API to endpoint to check if login functionality work correctly or not and verifying the response. You have created already data. It will take very less time as compared to UI, right? I just given one simple example for the same activity and same functionality will check in the UI, and definitely it will take time. Okay, so in the UI you have to do some user interface activity, right? So focus on the user interface, which is the part of software that use the interact with button, forms, and a screen. Okay, so we are interacting with, so layer wise this thing happen at the front end, involving the visual element of application to ensure they work as expected from the user perspective. So definitely we are interacting with the user and make sure everything will work fine as per the user perspective. A speed is bit slower, so this can be a slower because it involves rendering the UI and mimicking user interaction with clicking button and entering text. So I don't have a I don't have like a postman open here. So guys, we have around 46 video I uploaded for the API testing. Just you can do hands-on practice and just visualize the things, right? You can take one API and you can use, you can validate, and you can just go for the, you can do the same activity the UI. If you do not work on, if you do not learn that, okay, if you're already working and all, you are getting some idea what type of the question they're going to ask. Okay, testing is a login button on the website correctly allow the user to log in. If the user the correct message means error message is displaying, if you are entered all the activity what you are doing in the UI we can do in this API as well, but here you user interaction and definitely it will take bit more time. I'm just giving you one real-time example. Suppose I am using the Uber app, right? So when I will use in the Uber app for the API, what it will do? So test the API correctly calculate the fare west or distance and time when the ride is requested. It check whether the API send the correct driver information and ETA back to the users. But in the UI, what we can test? You had to test the request ride button, right? That user interaction, right? It's work fine or not. If user see the correct fare estimate, if the map display correctly. So you guys are understanding the slowly the difference between UI and API, right? If the app updated in the real time and the driver approaches, right? So we have to, I can say, visualize the things. Understood, right? The summary ensure that the behind scene data processing and communicating the accurate efficient, sorry, understood, right? And UI ensure that user can interact with the application easily and that everything looks good. So this is the short summary. Okay, so next question they have asked, what are the common types of the API? So we have a multiple types of the API. So we have a REST, SOAP, Graph, and RPC. So nowadays days 80 to 90% companies are using REST API, and we have a SOAP also. Few of the many companies are also using, but now the requirement is very less. But now the REST, when I will tell you the difference between SOAP and REST, then you will get more clarity why the REST is more popular than SOAP. Okay, next question, what is the next question we have? What the tools are used in the API testing? So we have a multiple tools nowadays guys. So most popular tools is include Postman. Most frequently we use the Postman, and it's a very easy tools. Okay, and we have a SOAP UI also, JMeter, REST Assured, and Swagger. So 95, I can say mostly company, I can say more than 90% companies, they are using Postman and REST Assured. I also work on the SOAP UI also. It totally depend upon how your project it is, but I will suggest you can just do more hands-on practice for Postman and REST Assured. Okay, guys, that's it in this video. If you are new in the channel, please subscribe for next video, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.